Every now and then, an automotive idea comes along that feels almost impossible, something that challenges what we think a practical vehicle can be. It is not the loudest or the flashiest that grabs attention, it is the one that quietly changes the rules while everyone else is distracted. A design that speaks to modern life, one foot in efficiency, the other in utility. It answers the question millions of drivers have been asking for years: can a single vehicle do it all without compromise? That question sparked a movement in showrooms, online communities, and driveways across America. Because when a machine delivers both fuel savings and real truck capability, it stops being a niche experiment and starts becoming a national conversation. This story is not about horsepower bragging rights or luxury price tags. It is about accessibility, smart design, and the surprising way one compact pickup reshaped an entire segment. Today, we are exploring how that happened, who it is for, and why it might be the most significant shift in American automotive culture this decade. Like and subscribe if you enjoy deep dives into vehicles that change the game, and comment which model you want us to cover next. The Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 did not just arrive on the market, it landed in a moment of exhaustion. American drivers had grown tired of the arms race that turned trucks into luxury liners on stilts, with six-figure price tags and mileage that felt out of step with reality. Into that landscape rolled a compact pickup that promised something radically simple: the practicality of a truck, the fuel economy of a small car, and a price that a normal household could actually justify. The Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 began as an experiment in restraint. It proved that scaling back could be the smartest move of all. Its 2.5-liter hybrid powertrain, rated at 191 combined horsepower, is not about brute force, it is about balance. A continuously variable transmission channels that modest output through the front wheels, producing up to 42 miles per gallon in city driving. That alone was enough to draw attention. But the real revelation came from how it fit into real life. For the first time in decades, a pickup could be both a commuter car and a weekend workhorse without feeling like a compromise. The Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 sits on Ford's C2 platform, shared with compact crossovers, which gave engineers a head start in efficiency and ride comfort. Instead of designing an all-new truck chassis, Ford leaned on this architecture to keep costs down and refinement up. The result was a unibody pickup that handled like a crossover but worked like a traditional truck, capable of hauling 1,500 pounds in the bed and towing up to 2,000 pounds. Critics questioned whether that was enough, but the Maverick's creators understood something many rivals missed: not every truck owner needs to tow a camper or haul construction gear daily. Most just want flexibility, the ability to make a Home Depot run on Saturday and park easily on Monday. That philosophy turned skeptics into customers. Inside, the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 tells the same story of calculated simplicity. No plush extravagance, but thoughtful design, exposed bolt heads, recycled materials, and storage spaces that feel purpose-built. Ford's team knew their target buyer was not chasing status, they were looking for practicality that did not feel cheap. Every element, from the door pockets sized for water bottles to the slots for 3D printed accessories, reinforces the do-it-yourself mindset. This was not a truck designed to impress at valet stands. It was built to live with you, to carry, to adapt, and to survive daily life without drama. The pricing strategy of the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 may have been its boldest feature. Starting at under $25,000, it redefined the entry point for a new vehicle in America. That figure did not come from aggressive discounts or marketing gimmicks. It was a deliberate choice to make hybrid technology accessible to the masses. As competitors shifted focus to luxury trims and large electrics, Ford zigged where everyone zagged. The gamble worked. Demand for the Maverick Hybrid far outstripped supply, with waiting lists stretching for months. Dealerships reported that first-time truck buyers, many of them urban and suburban commuters, were drawn by the combination of efficiency, capability, and price stability. In a world of skyrocketing car payments, the Maverick Hybrid offered sanity. Beyond its numbers, the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 represented a philosophical pivot for Ford. It was a bet on minimalism, on the idea that less can indeed be more when engineered correctly. The hybrid system's electric motor smooths out stop-and-go traffic while the gasoline engine handles open-road cruising, creating a seamless driving experience that few compact vehicles achieve. The instant torque from the electric assist gives quick response at low speeds. The transition between electric and gas power is nearly imperceptible. Every element serves a purpose, nothing feels redundant. This purity of intent made the Maverick Hybrid feel honest in a market filled with overstatement. The cultural timing of the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 cannot be overstated. It entered at a point when American consumers were rethinking priorities, downsizing homes, questioning excess, and rediscovering value. Inflation had reshaped buying habits. Practicality was back in fashion. A vehicle that could serve multiple roles without punishing your wallet or conscience was not just desirable, it was almost aspirational. Buyers began sharing real-world experiences online, 500-mile road trips on a single tank, furniture hauls without rental vans, daily commutes averaging over 40 miles per gallon. Word spread fast. What started as curiosity became a community movement, with forums and social media groups sharing modifications, tips, and mileage records. From a business perspective, the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 solved multiple problems at once. It provided an affordable entry point for younger buyers, reduced Ford's overall fleet emissions average, and revived interest in smaller trucks, a category long neglected in America. It also helped balance production costs, as the hybrid drivetrain shared components with other Ford models, streamlining logistics. The company essentially built a profit-friendly eco-truck that also scored environmental credibility. That mix was almost unheard of. Most automakers struggled to make hybrids profitable, yet Ford turned efficiency into a mainstream product line. The Maverick Hybrid's impact on Ford's brand identity also deserves attention. For decades, Ford trucks were associated with toughness and heavy labor. The Maverick Hybrid 2024 expanded that definition to include sustainability and intelligence. It showed that toughness could mean durability under daily use, not just brute strength. For younger buyers, it represented a kind of modern independence, mobility without debt, function without excess. For older generations, it rekindled nostalgia for simpler times when trucks were tools, not status symbols. In bridging those emotional gaps, the Maverick Hybrid did something no marketing campaign could. It made Ford feel relevant to both ends of the age spectrum. As with any success story, the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 also faced growing pains. Supply shortages hit hard, pushing used prices above new MSRP in some regions. Early adopters reported minor software quirks, yet overall satisfaction remained remarkably high. Critics pointed out the lack of all-wheel drive on hybrid models, but Ford's strategy was deliberate. By limiting complexity, it kept costs and emissions low. Rumors about a future hybrid AWD variant began circulating, showing how customer enthusiasm was already shaping product planning. For Ford, the Maverick's popularity became a roadmap for where to steer next. Even rival manufacturers took notice. Compact trucks began reappearing in concept form, each claiming to blend utility and efficiency, but few matched the Maverick Hybrid's balance of price, practicality, and personality. That balance is why the 2024 model year stands as a benchmark. It is the truck that forced an entire industry to rethink what Americans really need from a pickup. And that is where our next discussion begins, how this seemingly modest vehicle became the blueprint for a new kind of competition, one that blurs the line between commuter car and workhorse, redefining the very shape of the American driveway. The Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 did more than win over buyers. It upended decades of assumptions within the automotive industry. In this second phase of its story, we look deeper into how the Maverick Hybrid achieved such a balance of engineering precision, cost control, and cultural timing. The mechanics of its success reveal not just clever design but a rethinking of what efficiency really means in the modern American context. When you look under the surface, the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 becomes a masterclass in how to translate sustainability into everyday usability. At the heart of the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 lies a full hybrid system designed for seamless transitions. Unlike mild hybrids that only assist the engine, this setup allows the truck to operate solely on electric power at low speeds, gliding through city traffic without a drop of fuel. The Atkinson cycle gasoline engine prioritizes efficiency over raw output, working in perfect harmony with the electric motor. Regenerative braking captures energy normally wasted in deceleration and stores it in the battery for later use. This interplay between components produces not only excellent fuel economy but also a driving experience that feels composed and smooth. Ford engineers achieved a rare combination: hybrid sophistication without complexity that scares off traditional buyers. The Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 also benefits from a lightweight design philosophy. By sharing its architecture with compact crossovers, it saves hundreds of pounds compared to traditional body-on-frame trucks. That weight advantage improves acceleration, braking, and cornering, giving the Maverick a dynamic quality unfamiliar to most pickup drivers. The suspension tuning strikes a fine balance between comfort and load-bearing strength. Every component, from the composite bed panels to the acoustic windshield, contributes to efficiency. Ford treated every ounce saved as a mile gained, proving that small engineering decisions compound into major real-world benefits. Inside the cabin, the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 continues to showcase practical intelligence. The layout follows what designers called functional honesty: every button, dial, and surface has a purpose. The infotainment system integrates seamlessly with smartphones, offering Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. The base model's interior avoids unnecessary luxury materials but never feels stripped down. Clever touches like the fifth slot system let owners add custom accessories, from storage bins to phone mounts. This openness encourages personalization, turning buyers into creators and reinforcing a sense of ownership rarely found at this price point. Yet the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 is not just about features, it is about values. It delivers environmental responsibility without moralizing, efficiency without sacrifice, and affordability without compromise. That combination appeals to a broad audience: city commuters, weekend adventurers, small business owners, and retirees downsizing from larger vehicles. It bridges multiple demographics because it reflects modern American priorities: financial mindfulness, environmental awareness, and practicality. For many, buying a Maverick Hybrid is not only a transportation decision but a statement about balance in a world of extremes. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024's rise is how it reshaped consumer perception of hybrids. For years, hybrid vehicles were seen as slow, expensive, and overly delicate. The Maverick Hybrid shattered that image by proving a hybrid could be rugged, versatile, and genuinely fun to drive. Owners report that its electric torque makes city driving more responsive than expected, while the chassis feels solid enough for light off-road work. In short, it feels like a truck but behaves like an intelligent commuter car. That duality allowed Ford to reach customers who previously avoided hybrids altogether. Behind the scenes, Ford's production strategy for the Maverick Hybrid 2024 demonstrates how scale efficiency meets market agility. Building the truck in Hermosillo, Mexico, on the same line as the Bronco Sport, enables cost-sharing between models. This keeps prices stable even when supply chains fluctuate. The decision to lead with the hybrid version, rather than treat it as a premium option, was a bold inversion of industry logic. Instead of upselling efficiency, Ford made it standard. That single choice turned the Maverick Hybrid into a headline product rather than an eco-themed side project. Data from the first 2 model years revealed something remarkable: most Maverick Hybrid buyers had never owned a truck before. Many came from compact sedans and SUVs, drawn by the promise of versatility without bulk. Ford effectively expanded the truck market by inviting new types of drivers into it. This demographic shift has long-term implications. It redefines what a pickup owner looks like, both broadening the customer base and ensuring future demand for smaller, smarter utility vehicles. The Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 stands at the center of that shift, proving that innovation often means returning to simplicity. In terms of safety and reliability, the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 delivers consistency. Standard driver assistance technologies, such as automatic emergency braking and lane-keeping assist, provide peace of mind. Owners appreciate how these systems integrate unobtrusively, maintaining a natural driving feel. Long-term reliability data from early adopters suggest minimal degradation in hybrid performance, a testament to Ford's maturation in hybrid technology since earlier experiments. The result is a vehicle that feels durable in both hardware and philosophy. The broader impact of the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 reaches beyond sales charts. It forced competitors to reconsider their priorities. Other manufacturers, once skeptical about compact pickups, began accelerating their development timelines. Concepts of smaller electric trucks and hybrid utilities started emerging, but the Maverick already occupied that space with real-world credibility. The industry's slow pivot toward practical electrification now had a living example of success. Ford had not just launched a product, it had lit a beacon. From a cultural perspective, the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 symbolizes a return to sensible enthusiasm. Its popularity shows that Americans still love trucks, but they are ready to love them differently. Not every vehicle needs to dominate, some are designed to fit neatly into your life. The Maverick Hybrid celebrates moderation, a trait often missing from automotive culture. It turns restraint into a virtue and affordability into a form of empowerment. Every decision that shaped the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 came from understanding people's actual needs rather than marketing fantasies. It reminds us that progress does not always mean adding more. Sometimes it means refining what matters most. And that insight leads us to the next chapter of this story, how the Maverick Hybrid is not just a product of its time but a catalyst for what comes next, reshaping both the truck landscape and the definition of American practicality. The Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 is more than a sales success, it has become a reference point for how the industry evolves under pressure. In this final deep segment, we explore the broader implications, the lessons learned, and the ripple effects that continue to spread from this compact hybrid pickup. By now, the Maverick Hybrid's influence reaches far beyond Ford's own portfolio. It has changed how automakers think about efficiency, pricing, and identity. Its story is no longer just about engineering but about cultural realignment in the age of practicality. The Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 emerged at a crossroads between electric ambition and market reality. Full electric trucks were arriving but carried high prices and range anxiety that limited mainstream appeal. On the other side, traditional trucks were growing larger, more expensive, and less aligned with evolving consumer values. The Maverick Hybrid slipped neatly between these extremes, offering hybrid efficiency with gasoline convenience. It gave buyers a familiar experience enhanced by subtle electrification. That strategic positioning, between aspiration and accessibility, allowed Ford to capture both early adopters and conservative buyers. It proved that hybrid technology could serve as the perfect transition between internal combustion and full electric. For Ford engineers and planners, the Maverick Hybrid 2024 became a case study in modular thinking. By leveraging existing platforms and powertrains, Ford minimized risk while maximizing adaptability. This approach contrasts sharply with the industry's earlier habit of treating innovation as a clean slate expense. The Maverick Hybrid demonstrates that forward progress can come from intelligent reuse. As sustainability goals tighten and resources become strained, this philosophy could define the next decade of vehicle design. Automakers now see the Maverick as an example of efficient evolution rather than expensive revolution. The Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 also revealed the emotional side of practicality. Owners often describe a sense of pride not in showing off but in making a smart choice. That subtle satisfaction of efficiency, utility, and affordability resonates deeply in uncertain economic times. It aligns with a generational shift away from conspicuous consumption toward functional authenticity. The Maverick Hybrid represents a kind of quiet confidence, the idea that being prepared and resourceful is its own status symbol. That is why the truck appeals equally to young professionals in cities and retirees downsizing in rural areas. It crosses boundaries because it embodies a mindset, not a stereotype. Even the aftermarket ecosystem around the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 speaks volumes about its cultural traction. Within months of release, communities of owners began sharing custom storage solutions, bed racks, and software tweaks. The truck's accessible price point encouraged experimentation, giving rise to a vibrant culture of do-it-yourself upgrades. This sense of participation keeps the Maverick's image fresh and flexible. Ford indirectly benefits as each personalized build becomes free marketing, showcasing how versatile the platform can be. The vehicle has become a canvas for creativity, echoing the early days of compact pickups in the 1980s but now powered by hybrid sensibility. The business implications are equally profound. The Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 expanded Ford's customer base in a way few modern products have managed. It pulled buyers from multiple segments: compact cars, small crossovers, and even used trucks. Each sale represented a conquest from a category where Ford previously had limited presence. This diversification strengthens the brand's resilience against market volatility. When fuel prices fluctuate, when interest rates rise, or when regulations tighten, the Maverick Hybrid remains relevant. That stability is rare in an industry dominated by trend chasing. Fleet and commercial interest in the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 added another dimension. Municipalities and small businesses saw it as an efficient alternative to larger service trucks. Its ability to perform light-duty tasks while slashing fuel costs gave it a measurable financial advantage. Some local governments began replacing aging sedans and SUVs with Mavericks, citing sustainability goals and operational efficiency. This institutional adoption reinforces the model's long-term significance. It is not just a consumer product but an infrastructural tool. In the global context, the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 signals a reawakening of compact utility design. Other regions, long accustomed to smaller trucks, are watching how Americans embrace downsizing without losing pride or capability. The Maverick's popularity may even influence export strategies or inspire similar models abroad. By proving that smaller can succeed in the US, traditionally the land of big vehicles, Ford has reopened the conversation around right-sized transportation. That conversation carries environmental and economic implications that stretch far beyond one model year. There is also a psychological impact to consider. The Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 challenges consumers to rethink what success looks like. It invites them to measure value not by excess but by efficiency and usability. This is more than marketing language, it reflects changing social priorities. Younger generations view ownership differently, emphasizing utility over display. The Maverick Hybrid validates those preferences and makes them aspirational. It teaches the industry that aspiration itself can evolve. As production continues, Ford faces the challenge of maintaining momentum without diluting the formula. Expanding trims, powertrains, or features could attract new buyers but risk altering the balance that made the Maverick Hybrid special. The simplicity that defined its charm must survive growth. Observers expect subtle evolution, perhaps more hybrid options, better connectivity, and selective electrification, rather than radical transformation. The model's legacy will depend on how well Ford preserves that core value equation. In retrospect, the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 stands as a turning point. It redefined what a truck could be in the 21st century. It showed that the answer to modern challenges is not always technological escalation but human-centered design. Efficiency, affordability, and authenticity can coexist. The Maverick Hybrid proves it every day on American roads. The story of this compact pickup is not just about innovation, it is about rediscovering common sense in a marketplace that had forgotten it. The Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024, then, is not just another model in a long lineup, it is a manifesto on wheels. It captures the spirit of doing more with less, of building intelligently instead of extravagantly. It reclaims the idea that progress can be practical and that smart design can reach everyone, not just the affluent few. And as we move toward an increasingly electric and digital future, its quiet, efficient presence reminds us that true innovation often starts with restraint. In the next and final section, we close the loop on this story, exploring what the Maverick Hybrid's success tells us about where American mobility goes from here. The Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 leaves behind more than strong sales numbers. It leaves a blueprint for the future of practical mobility. It demonstrates that innovation does not always mean reinventing everything from scratch. Sometimes it means listening to what people actually want. By offering real capability at an attainable price, the Maverick Hybrid rewrote expectations and reminded automakers that technology should simplify life, not complicate it. In an era defined by extremes, huge trucks or fully electric vehicles, the Maverick found the perfect middle ground. The Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 tells us that the next generation of American vehicles will not be defined by size but by balance. It proved that fuel economy and utility are not enemies, and that affordability can coexist with forward-thinking engineering. As infrastructure evolves and electric adoption expands, hybrids like the Maverick will continue to bridge the gap, serving as the logical link between the old and the new. It invites both automakers and consumers to slow down, evaluate needs honestly, and make smarter choices. What makes the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 timeless is its honesty. It does not pretend to be something it is not, it fulfills its promises without flash. That rare authenticity connects deeply with American values of ingenuity and self-reliance. Whether parked in a city garage or on a dirt driveway, it looks equally at home. It is not about image, it is about purpose. As the market shifts toward electrification, the Maverick Hybrid will likely stand as the moment Ford realized restraint could be revolutionary. It taught the industry that progress can come in practical packages and that success can be measured not only in performance but in relevance. Other manufacturers will follow, designing vehicles that prioritize usability, sustainability, and affordability over raw spectacle. The ripple effect has already begun. In closing, the Ford Maverick Hybrid 2024 is more than a product. It is a reminder that the smartest solutions often come from revisiting simple truths. It captures the spirit of an era that values efficiency over excess, adaptability over arrogance, and real-world function over fantasy. It has reshaped how Americans think about trucks, how automakers think about their customers, and how the industry thinks about progress. The Maverick Hybrid represents a quiet revolution, one paved not with hype, but with thoughtful design and everyday value. And that is why, years from now, when people talk about the turning point in modern automotive history, this small hybrid pickup will still be part of the conversation.